What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Simply Coco here. We are here with another speed build today. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will always respond to your comments. So today I am building a jungle vacation home, as you can probably tell from the title and the thumbnail. It's on the jungle bungalow lot in Salvadorada. I think that's how you say it. I am building from reference as usual. Sorry, I don't have the photo to pop up for you. It's really more so inspiration because to have this like pool area on the top, I couldn't have any like room under it, or it would have just been underwater. So I kind of had to lay it out differently from the photo that I was looking at. So I did kind of take some stylistic or artistic liberties, or whatever you want to call it. But I am really super duper proud of this build. I almost wish you could have retail lots on, not retail. Sorry, I really wish you could have residential lots in the vacation worlds, because I feel like, you know, why can't my Sims just live here? Why do they have to go on vacation to come here? Like, even when I was going to take the screenshots, I couldn't just have my Sim come and travel here. They had to take a whole vacation to come here for me to just to take the screenshots. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, I'm really proud of this build. It ends up being like littered in greenery. I really wanted it to really sit into the lot and really sit into its surroundings. And make it look like, you know, they just kind of plopped it here, you know, in the middle of the forest. Yeah, I end up really liking it. Over here where these blinds are, those windows are from Island Living, but they don't end up staying there. I end up changing them out for ones that are more open. They end up also being from Island Living, but I really wanted the kitchen to be just completely open to the outside. All the common spaces in this build are open to the outside. So right here where I'm putting these archways, that's going to be the living room or the family room or the whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. The family room, the whatever, living room, whatever you call it. That's where it's going to be here, and it's completely open to the outside, and then the kitchen's going to be completely open to the outside. The only thing that's not is the bathroom. Obviously, there's only one bathroom, and it's kind of in a weird spot, but I'll get to that later. And then the 2 bedrooms. So there's one double room where 2 Sims could fit, and then there's a single bedroom. So right here behind the stairs is where the bathroom goes, and then then right next to the bathroom is the single bedroom. So 3 Sims could come and stay here comfortably. You could have more than that come. Because I do end up putting 2 couches in the living room. So technically more Sims could come visit and they could just sleep on the couch, or, you know, when one Sim wasn't sleeping, they could, you know, trade off in the bed or whatever. But having this like murky pool up here, it kind of really limited how many rooms I could put in this build. And I didn't want to extend it anymore, mainly because I was lazy and didn't feel like it, and because it would have thrown the shape off, and the lot I would have had to extend it back, and the lot didn't have much room, much more room behind it. Most of the extra room I had was to the left. But yeah, so at first, this little murky pool up here was going to be, it was going to be accessible, but then because there's that little room above it where you can get to it, but then I had it completely open to the elements. I had the 2 half walls, and then I made like my own archway. But then doing that, it it didn't count it as a room. And then since it didn't count that as a room, the living room under it didn't count as a room. Like it didn't, the living room under it didn't have a roof. So outside light was coming into the living room, and it looked weird at night whenever, I went to put in like lights. So I ended up changing it to like having all 4 walls, and then I just used the same windows that I used in the kitchen over there, but I put them in white. You won't see that until later. This was just a plain wall, had no idea what to put there. So I was gonna do windows into the little murky pool, but I changed my mind. It ends up just being like a whole bunch of vines there. Yeah, I forgot this. As you're watching this build is on the gallery. Just search simply Coco _94. Don't forget to turn on move objects before you place it. And I was gonna put fish in the murky pool, but I forgot. So if you want to do that, just turn on hidden objects. So bb.show hidden objects, and then bb.show live edit objects, and then you can filter by base game and find one of the fishing signs. And if you just like hide one of the fishing signs close to the pool, you could size it down really small and just hide it in the wall, or hide it somewhere in one of the just hide it somewhere, and then, but it has to be close to this pond, and then fish will actually swim in there. So yeah, if you want to do that, that's how. But as you can see, I'm doing the landscaping now. I started off just in the build and buy menu, just pulling out whatever I could, and then eventually I did go into debug and pull out the rest, because I really wanted it to match in with the stuff that was around it. Most Jungle Adventure is pretty good about having the same objects or the same trees and stuff that are around a lot in the build and buy menu. So whenever I went into debug, there wasn't a lot that wasn't already in the build and buy menu, if that makes sense. Right here, I was trying to put a tree because I wanted it, I wanted the effect of a tree has grown up through the wood, but I couldn't place it the way I want it because I only wanted it this one tile, and I couldn't get the tree down in there, and I couldn't get it centered the way I want it. I didn't want to size the tree down, so eventually I just scrapped the hole altogether and just put the tree on the deck, and I just leave it there. So if you don't like that, feel free to delete it, but to me that is like the tree is growing from underneath the build. And then I also put like a tall skinny vine attached to the tree, and then some other like viney things to make it look like this vine that's going across that blank wall I was talking about, just to make it look like that vine's coming from something. So here, that's where I'm doing that right now. I just wanted those vines to look like it was originating from something, and it didn't just grow from nothing. But yeah, the landscaping probably took the longest in this build. That's why you see me still working on it. The furnishing came pretty easily to me, and I think that's because I use mostly Jungle Adventure stuff in the furnishing. But the Jungle Adventure furniture is really like, you would think it would look really old and really dated, but it works really well for this build. And I mean, I guess so, because we are building in the Jungle Adventure world, and it is, you know, a jungly lot, so I guess it would work. But excuse me, the colors I used and all of that really lends itself to looking very up to date. I even try to pop some like modern influence in here, because I just didn't want this build to look dated. I just didn't want it to look old, you know? I mean, I would imagine it's been sitting here a while because it's so overgrown in vegetation. Like this right here, it's a whole roof. This is sitting over the kitchen. There's dirt on top of the roof that's allowed these plants to grow. So I mean, I imagine the building or the house, whatever it is, has been sitting here for a long time. It's just the interior has been updated and has been made a little more modern, but staying true to, you know, the original, or, you know, staying true to the culture of Selva Dorada, you know. So now I'm just doing a little bit of terrain painting. This is probably the best I've ever done terrain paint wise, because I'm using this base game dirt, and then I go around and use some base game like rocky dirt to kind of blend it in with what you can see off of the lot. And I think it ended up looking really natural and actually really good. And I was really proud of myself because I'm not the best at terrain painting. I mean, it's easy. You just, you know, pick a terrain paint and then go around and put it where you want it. But I'm not the best at like making it look the most natural, or, you know, so on and so forth. But I really enjoyed how it looked. Now I am moving on to the interior. So this is the kitchen over here. As you can see, like I said, it's completely open to the elements. This is me realizing that that's not counting as a room, and I'm just trying to figure out what's the problem, and it ends up being this little awning above it. And it was because of the half walls. Yeah, because see, once I did that, then you can see underneath did correctly. But eventually I move on from that like I have now, and I decide to fix it later. So the kitchen is pretty huge. It has this giant, what do you call this? This giant island, which kind of doesn't make sense because, I mean, at most you can fit 3 Sims here comfortably. Like I said, you could technically fit, let's see, if there's a double bed, 1 single bed, and then there's 2 couches that Sims could nap on. You could technically fit 5 Sims here, and they all have a place to sleep. And then, like I said, you could switch out who gets the bed or whatever. But it's still a big kitchen for 5 Sims. But I imagine this being like maybe a couple gets married in this world, and then they have their like reception here, so like all their friends come back here, and they just kind of have this big like weekend soiree. Their friends spend the night. Well, technically in The Sims, like if you invite people over to your house, like they're gonna go home eventually. But like in real life, you wouldn't go across the world for a wedding and then come back home the same night. So like I would imagine they would like spend the night, they would like get drunk and all of this, and some people would crash in the beds, some people would crash on the couches, some people would crash in the hot tub, some people would crash on the floor. You know, wherever they would crash is where they would crash. So I imagine that it being just like for a young couple that's just gotten married and they want to take a vacation, they bring some friends, stuff like that. I didn't put now that I mentioned getting drunk, I didn't put a bar on this lot. And I think I thought about it, but I never got around to it. Sorry if my voice is getting scratchy. I don't know what just happened. But yeah, there's plenty of spots that a bar could sit, because there's like what is this called? The like balcony area, the deck areas are very big. Well, they're not very big, but there's just a lot of deck area. So there's like 3 or 4 places that I just put seating. So any one of those spots could have a bar as well. So if for your gameplay, if you want a bar, there's definitely some places that it can go. I do size down that what is it called, fireplace, and I think the fire stays within it. I don't think it floats out. I think you can size down fireplaces. But just size it back up using the close bracket key and it'll fix itself. Excuse me. This is me now. So that coffee table is like a glass coffee table. I think it came with the backyard stuff or perfect patio, one or the other. And then that fireplace was me trying to give it like a modern kind of edge. And with the windows as well. So all the windows look out into the little murky pool. And that's why I wanted to put fish in there, so that they actually had something to look at. And I kind of wanted to put some vegetation down there as well, but I decided not to. So those are all things you can do once you get it in your game. The reason why I took away the, what is it called? Not the awning, the archway that was originally here where this window is, because behind the couch is just open forest, all these trees and grass. And if I was staying here, I wouldn't want to be sitting on that couch with a archway to the elements being right behind me. Like, what if a jaguar comes up and attacks me while I'm watching my favorite show or something? Like, I wouldn't know. Like, that would freak me out, and I would probably never sit in this living room unless I sat on the smaller couch. So that's why I ended up taking that archway away and just putting a window there. And then I put those curtains from Island Living, which worked really well on that window. But that TV is another kind of modern element. And then instead of putting like a fancy light, I just put a spotlight inside of the fan, because I imagined it would have a fan because it's so open. And, you know, I imagine it's always hot in Salvadorado. I'm not sure because I don't play here much. So I would imagine if, you know, you have it so open, you would kind of need that fan. I don't do it on camera, but I do put a thermostat next to the TV. So they will technically also have air conditioning as well. Yes, so now I'm just kind of decorating. With this build, you know, lately I've been, you know, how I said I like to go and furnish every room and then I come back and clutter. Well, with this build, I kind of just did... Oh, I put those lights behind the TV because I was going to change the color of them to make it like a neon glow behind the TV. But I forgot. So if you download this lot just in live mode, just go either delete those lights or change the color of them yourself. But what was I saying? Oh, crap. Now I don't remember. Before I was talking about the lights. Yeah, I really don't know what I was saying. Dang it. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, this is the single bedroom. I was thinking about making this a kid's bedroom, but with this being a rental lot, making it like a full-on decorated kid's bedroom didn't make sense to me. But now I remember what I was gonna say. It's a retail lot, so I've been going with this thing lately of furnishing every room and then going back to clutter them, so you kind of get two views of the room. But with this build, I kind of just decorated it and cluttered as I went, because with this being a rental property, there wouldn't be a whole lot of clutter in places. Like if you go to a hotel, there's not clutter everywhere, you know? So I kind of tried to give it like, you know, hotel vibes. So I didn't want to clutter it up too much. Like even in the kitchen, I love cluttering up kitchens, but I had to really tone it back for this. This shower right here is from Island Living, and I really wanted there to be an outside bathing moment. I wanted to do an entire bath, but here I am doing the bathroom, and I thought it would have looked really nice to have a bath sitting in front of this window in the bathroom, so that while you were taking a bath, you could be looking out into the water. So that's why I put the shower outside instead of a bath. And yeah, your Sims should be fine using that shower outside. There's some plants around it, but I tried to move them out of the way. And as far as them getting embarrassed, I mean, as long as no Sims are around them, they should be fine. But yeah, I end up really enjoying this bathroom as well. I don't clutter it up very much. I end up putting, if you can see a little bit in the tub, there's like a little pink-ish wood moment going on. So I brought that color in with the fluffy rug and with the little towel rack that came with Tiny Living. Excuse me. I know a lot of you guys that watch my videos like that I come up with little storylines for my Sims, but obviously this is a rental lot. It's not for one particular family, so I don't really have a storyline to go with it other than the whole young couple other than the whole young couple that just got married and this is where they come to spend their honeymoon or to have a little party or reception or whatever. So other than that, I don't really have a specific storyline for this build. If you wanted this to be just your, regular schmegular residential lot, the next best place that it would fit would probably be Sulani. You would just have to definitely Sulani, because in this build, I use a crap ton of jungle adventure and a crap ton of island living. Like when I uploaded it to the gallery, it did have several packs in it. Sorry, I do want to start doing restricted pack builds. This is not one of them, but I did use quite a few packs, but definitely a lot of jungle adventure and a lot of island living. So if you want this to be just a plain old residential lot, the next best place for it to be would be Sulani. You would just have to change the plants that are around. Like you would probably have to change all of my landscaping. You'd probably have to change all of my landscaping. Probably not all of it, you would have just the trees mostly. The actual plants could probably stay, and the bushes and stuff, but the trees would not go in Sulani. You'd have to change them to palm trees or something. So if you want this to be a residential lot, Sulani is what I suggest. Here's the kitchen. I'm just cluttering it up a little bit. I gave them an espresso machine, and in order for the espresso machine to work, you have to have the grinder, and then just some different things. I did not even clutter up the shelves, because I imagined what's already on there is what comes on there, and the other shelves is just for people that rent the place out. If they plan on staying for a week, maybe they pull out all of the utensils and plates and stuff, and they put it up on there on the shelves for easier access or something. That, and I just didn't feel like cluttering up the shelves. I'm just going to be honest about that, because you would think there's things in The Sims that you would think would would snap up on a shelf really quick and easy, but they don't. So this is a longer speed build today. My speed builds usually don't pass 15, 18-ish minutes. This is one of my longer ones. If you're anything like me, you prefer longer videos. But for those of us that make them, I don't mean that in an ugly way. So please don't think that. I'm just saying I'm by no means am I this, big, famous YouTube simmer. I'm not. I have 72 subscribers. Thank you to those of you that subscribe. But I'm just saying, for those of us that make them, the longer the video, that if it's a long video, that probably means it took a lot of work to create it and to edit it and to actually build it. So we shoot for shorter videos. But anyway, the screenshots are definitely rolling. I hope you enjoy. Please go download the lot and follow me on the gallery as well. And don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye!